back to the half hour of power. I am Joe. Brandon is here.
Yo, yo, Joe. What do you know?
Hey, Brandon, we got somebody here with us from the Toys of the Time Gone By. We have,
Yo,
Hey
is that
there.
Mark?
hey, Mark,
How are
thanks for
you?
being on such short notice.
It's great. My pleasure.
It'll be fun. We haven't been together in a while like this, so this will be great.
Yep.
So Brandon and I and even Mark, we have been talking and discussing where should we go from here. So we kind of been reevaluating, retooling what we've been doing, and I think we're gonna. Should we just surprise everybody, Brandon? Just kind of go with what we do.
Yeah.
Well, you'll notice a few changes, a couple different things we don't normally do. We're going to do more of like this show. We don't do a lot of these shows, but we're going to try and do a little bit more of these, just kind of talking about some entertainment news, some kind of things that are going on. And when this article it popped up here within the last week, it just seemed too good to be true because we were talking about doing more shows similar to this, in addition to when we discuss movies. Wouldn't you say, Brandon, that this article was kind of providence that this article showed up right now?
Yeah. It hit right on the head.
Since we've done an entire series on Dracula movies and which movie is closest to the book, which one we think is closest to the book.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think it was what 1960 no 60 no 60 no was it
that's right.
1977 Dracula BBC version.
Absolutely. So Mark, we kind of blindsided him with this topic. So that's one of the reasons we can have him on because we're going to just talk about this article and not a movie he hasn't seen. Hey, Mark, thanks for
You're welcome.
coming on. What do you got going on at the toys?
Well, I just got a. I just put a couple of new videos up,
Nice.
a couple of new reviews up, and and then I have another one premiering in a few days. All I could say is just tell the guys to just check it out, and then I got a bunch of new toys that I'm going to be putting up to review, which is going to be pretty interesting because there's some newer stuff that has not even been hasn't been out yet.
Oh, what we
So
talking
they're
about?
new things.
Very nice.
I knew that was gonna happen.
So it'll be fun, exciting.
Very cool. So here we have this Dracula article. And I don't remember if we ever mentioned this before on the show. We did cover Renfield, came out last year. We did cover The Last Voyage of the Demeter, came out last year.
Hmm.
We did miss The Invitation.
I don't think we missed too much.
Well, yeah, probably not, but we're kind of may get to it. I don't know.
Oh wait, I see. Yeah, I seen it. It was not. It's not worth all that. Just say that.
It's not worth it. Okay.
No,
There was that one that just came out, Abigail, which.
which was awesome. That was
Oh, okay, great.
awesome
I haven't seen
movie.
that yet, but I hear there is a bit of a Dracula connection to it. Is that true, Brandon?
That is true.
Okay. So maybe that'd be checking out. Mark, did you see The Invitation or Abigail?
No.
Did you see Renfield with Nicolas Cage?
Uh, yeah, I saw that.
Okay, what'd you think of that?
Um, it's had its moments.
Uh, hmm. What about The Last Voyage of the Demeter?
I've seen that.
How was that?
That was good.
Oh, okay. So you like
That
that
was
one
good.
better
Yeah.
out of the two that came out last year? Well, if we count The Invitation, there was what, 3, right? If you count it. Brandon's yawning, so he don't want to count it. I don't blame you, Brandon. I haven't seen it, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Trust me, it's all about a bloodline, and then this happened, and then
blood.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
good cast. It was good cast. This movie was this.
So there's lots and lots of. There's still lots and lots of Dracula projects out there. One of these recently got canceled, and
Thank God.
it didn't sound good to me from the start. But I always just wait and see how the things turn out. What about you, Brandon? You remember when we were talked about this earlier? Did this sound like it was going to be good to you, or
No,
what?
this is gonna be terrible. It's gonna be another one of the movies that they always kind of trying to
Okay.
make it to a political agenda, and then
Yeah, they can't just
I
tell the
agree.
story. So yeah, this was,
I agree.
if I remember this correctly, this was supposed to be a part of the new Universal stuff. What they were doing.
the Dark Universals.
So the whole, well, I mean, what they did with the whole Invisible Man,
Yeah,
which I didn't see it.
you didn't
Did you
see
see it?
Invisible Man?
No.
I mean, it was good. It was a good take on modern day.
No.
That's basically all it was. It
Did you
wasn't
see
like
that, Mark?
Oh, the new Invisible Man?
Yeah.
No, I saw the old Invisible
See,
Man.
I don't really got a problem with them making a movie like that, but it really is irritating me that they're making these movies. They're calling it like a remake or retelling of The Invisible Man. Why don't
Is that
you
what they said?
just go to the book again?
Joe,
But instead, they had to do what they did, and
Joe,
why didn't they just call it something else?
Joe. You seem to forget people don't read anymore.
No, people don't read anymore.
So when you say like, what was it, Kathleen Kennedy? Oh, there's no references or anything that we can look back to continue Star Wars. There's tons of novels, books, comic books, short
Yeah.
films. So read.
Yeah. So now I haven't seen that Invisible Man. Yeah, I could be
That's
totally
pretty good.
wrong, but you liked it, Brandon?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a different take. It didn't have to deal
Well, I
with.
mean, I don't. What do you mean? What do you mean different take? What does that mean?
Well, because in Invisible Man, it was a chemical, experiment that he was
Yeah,
doing.
but I mean, what I'm talking about too is it's based on a book.
Yeah, what this Invisible Man was based on a book.
The original Invisible Man is based on a book.
Yeah, but I don't think this was following Invisible Man.
Well, it's not supposed to, but they're still going on about this whole, and I don't understand these terminologies and they irritate me. I mean, I don't even know how else to put it. We had to reintroduce it to modern audiences. Modern audiences wouldn't accept that. This is a modern take. What are you guys talking about?
Well, you gotta remember, what audience are we dealing with now?
I don't know. I have no idea. A bunch of idiots.
I can tell you what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with people who, it's the equality, it's the woke, it's this, it's that. Nobody wants to, it's
Now,
modern time. They
I
don't
do
want.
remember, Brandon,
They're a
that
woke
Invisible
too.
Man did come out like like right
Couple years
before
ago.
the pandemic, right? Like it was like January of 2020.
I think it did.
It was one of the ones that came out right before that,
Yeah.
and it did pretty good. And at the box office, and I heard it actually was good. I just was not like up for that movie. I wanted to see a new version of the book.
Well, see, that's the thing. It don't follow the book at all.
So why did they call it the Invisible Man? Just because there was an invisible man in it?
Because it was a visible
Why
man.
didn't they call it something else and not even reference, not even say, this is our update of our classic film, The Invisible Man, based on that adorable H.G. Wells novel called The Invisible Man?
I don't know what to tell you.
I know none of us have an answer for that. None of us.
I can't tell you.
I mean, so it probably wouldn't bother me that much if they had just called it something else and not tried to say that. I mean, it was
kind of hard.
It was kind of
tell
similar
it.
for me. The whole P.T. Barnum movie they just did, that musical. What was that called?
The Greatest Show on Earth or Greatest something.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, a P.T. Barnum biopic. Okay, and I watched the trailer. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not watching that. I didn't want to see a musical of that.
Well,
I wanted to see a straightforward biopic. Now I've heard that was good. I've heard that's pretty good. People enjoy it. It did really well.
What movie?
And The Greatest Show.
They just could have did an Invisible Man movie just where somebody's just walking around. You don't have to buy clothes anymore. You could just be invisible.
Well, no, but I mean, yeah, exactly.
You can go in the
So here
supermarket.
this brings us to Dracula.
Well, let me say this. This Invisible Man wasn't like what was it when it came out? Hollow Man. Remember Hollow Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Hollow Man wasn't trying to be the book, The Invisible Man. It was just
Well, this one's
something else.
not. Well, this Invisible Man wasn't like the book at all.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why did they call it The Invisible Man? Why didn't they just call it something else?
What else could they call it? The Transparent Man?
Invisible Paranoia. They could call it something else. I mean, do you have to have invisible in the title to tell people that there's an invisible person in it?
Well, I mean, come on. Look how many like Dracula movies we got out with different Dracula names.
Well, so what? They, let's go to the Dracula thing because we're kind of with the Invisible Man. It's kind of similar. There's like the James Whale Invisible Man with Claude Rains, which follows the book. Done with the effects of the day, which look fantastic. It absolutely looks amazing. You've seen that Invisible Man, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
You've seen that one, Mark?
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, so the effects are fantastic in that.
Seen the one with Chevy Chase too.
What?
I seen the one with Chevy Chase too.
That's another one. See, they call that in Memoirs of Invisible Man, which wasn't trying to tell it wasn't the H.G. Wells book. Which is
That's
fine.
what I'm saying. Like this one's not the H.G. Wells book neither.
Why are they calling it the Invisible Man?
Okay.
Stop it. Call it Woman's Revenge. Call it some man oogles a woman and he's invisible. Just come on.
So technically we should say the Invisible Woman. Technically,
is she invisible?
Actually, yes. Towards the end, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get away from the Invisible Man. I haven't seen it, and I'm tired of talking about it already. I know Mark is tired of hearing me whine about it. But anyway, here is a Dracula project that was canceled, thankfully.
Thank God.
So this is the Karyn Kusama. I'm not trying to say her name wrong. Kusama. I've never heard her name said. You know how to say that name?
Well, say it phonetically.
Kusama.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm not a fan of what she was going to do with Dracula, I don't really want to say her name wrong.
I don't think she would mind.
She might mind. I don't know. All right, we'll bring this up here and we'll talk about it. There we are. So, her Dracula, it was going to be at Blumhouse. Okay. Got canned due to its portrayal of men. Oh, look at that headline. Due to its portrayal of men. What does that even mean? What does she mean by this?
She's wrong.
Okay, so I've looked at her filmography and I've only seen one of her films.
I've seen majority of them. Except for Destroyer.
No, I've seen two of her films. I saw Aeon Flux and Jennifer's Body. I didn't like Aeon Flux. I didn't like Jennifer's Body.
I like Jennifer's Body.
Why is that, Mark?
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
Because of who?
Don't encourage his misogyny.
That's why.
But for some reason, I'm seeing that Jennifer's Body has become like some weird cult classic. Like it wasn't a classic.
It got a lot of flack when the movie came out, but then it ended up turning into a cult classic like every other.
Yeah, probably because it wasn't a good movie. And it's not a good movie today.
Well,
wait, Brandon, did you see Jennifer's Body? Did you like it?
No, I didn't like it, but I watched it.
Okay. Mark, did you watch it?
I just watched it for Jennifer's Body.
I'm sorry. I'm going to mute his mic for a second and get this misogyny out of our show for a second. I'm sorry, Mark. This has got to happen. You got to be punished. Okay. We'll bring him back up so he can comment on this this quote. Here's her quote. So her Dracula movie was going to be called Mina Harker. Okay. It was going to focus on the female protagonist of the novel. Mm-hmm. It was going to have a feminist twist on the source material. However, 3 weeks before filming, it was canceled. Okay. Here's her quote now. I would say that the Dracula movie I was making wasn't a straightforward monster movie, and so perhaps that was the problem. It was very much rooted in the monsters that start at home in humans. That's what was going to make it distinctive, was that Dracula was more than a force of evil. He was a man. And that is, in some ways, both its reason for being and its obstacle. It was really hard to get that movie made. And even though we got so close, 3 weeks from shooting, people lost their nerve. Ugh. The official word was, it was creative differences. Brandon, what's your take on that? You've read the book, so I kind of know what you're thinking.
Yeah, like, okay, I get it. And me and you talked about this too, that Nina Hardy was, was like, she was like the main person working in the background, figuring things out. It wasn't about femininity or nothing like that, but she did take charge and she put things together. Now that's in the book. We did agree on that. The book did not take away from her. It didn't take away from, Van Helsing. It didn't take away from her husband. It didn't take away from no other characters in the book. It was real rounded. Yeah. But how we always keep saying that people like, oh, back then it was just so mellowistic and this and that, but they actually had a female protagonist that was doing the background work and putting things together.
Exactly.
So we're not knocking that.
Let's bring Mark out of his punishment. And
was he was still on mute?
Yeah. Hey, Mark, what's your take on that quote on Karyn?
Okay, quote. my whole take on it is the fact that basically the first thing that she did wrong was, I don't even mind it being about Mina. You can make a movie like that, that's fine. But when she says that Dracula we're focusing on him being a man, she just misses the whole idea of Dracula. Dracula is not a man. Dracula is a creature, a monster. She's missing the point, and it's mostly about agenda. That's all I could say. It's just.
Are you saying she has an agenda with her?
She has an agenda. Yes, and
okay.
Another feminist agenda.
So, like Brandon said, I don't think she's read the book.
They don't read the book.
Because if she read the book, she would see that is already there. Just like Brandon said, the only reason that Van Helsing was able to put it all together and figure out what Dracula was, where he was, what to do, was because Mina had the foresight to take Harker's journal, to take the letters from Lucy, to take newspaper clippings, to transcribe Seward's journal, and put all of that together and give that to Van Helsing to read. And Van Helsing was so grateful for her doing that.
She played a big support role in the thing. So
she is the hero of this book.
Mm-hmm.
This book that came out in 1897 that, supposedly women have no place and they're kept down and their characters are terrible and nobody knows how to write for women. This book did that. Rarely do these movies make Mina that way.
Well, because women in those time periods, the only thing they was good for was to, cook, clean, look beautiful, and that was it.
You think that's what Karyn Kusama is thinking?
Yeah, that's what she probably thought, and she's like,
so I mean, because I just don't understand how if you're going to do a new version, and you know what, she could make that movie, but why use Dracula characters?
Well, here's a funny thing.
It's the same thing I'm talking about with the Invisible Man. Why make that the Invisible Man? Just call it something else. Do something else. If she wants to make a movie like that, go ahead and do it. But why do it with Dracula? Dracula already has the female hero in there doing the most heroic stuff.
Well, this what I don't understand is Bram Stoker was inspired by another vampire book that was out, Camilla or something like that.
Yes.
It came out in like 1870 something,
Yes.
and you know, you would think since it's so woke and femininity and diversity, that would be a book that they would make a movie out of because the queen was a lesbian vampire.
Yeah, they have made a movie of that, but there aren't that as many versions
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
because
would
it's
think
not
they
as
would
popular.
focus
But
on,
you are right.
yeah, you would think they would focus on something like that to make it popular. But they want to take things that are already popular. They either want to do a gender swap or they want to do a color swap, and sometimes leave things as it is.
So they want to twist it around and
And
destroy
then
it.
they want to make everything political. Like, I want to go to a movie where it takes me away from reality. Help my
Yeah.
imagination. That's how I grew up. 80s, us 80s kids, 90 kids, that's all we knew was imagination. We
Yeah.
went outside and played outside and did all these things. We read books, we played toys. Come on.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Oh yeah.
these people are, oh my God, this is not politically correct. Like, what?
Absolutely. Mark, you're an 80s kid.
That's right. I had a lot of imagination back then.
Yeah,
I still do.
yeah, me too.
And it's I agree with these making some movies that you don't have to use you don't have to constantly bring an agenda and woke stuff to a movie. Just make a movie.
Yeah,
Just
make
make a
something
movie.
that's enjoyable.
I don't care what you do. Just make a good movie. And
Right.
if you can't
Absolutely.
make a good movie and you want to bring all these politics into it, it's not going to be a good movie.
Nope.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that's about it for that article. That's really all that's in there. Um, I don't. I'm very happy that it was canceled. Um, I don't
Yeah.
like very many movies she's done. Maybe she'll make something someday I like. I don't know. I always give everybody a chance. You got any final thoughts on that, Brandon?
Yeah, my final thoughts on that. I'm glad they really canceled that. I mean, Abigail was a great movie. Um, the main protagonist was a little girl. She was awesome in it. And then the father came in towards the end. That was awesome. So to me, um, that's a movie that I'm talking about. That has nothing to do with no agenda, no politics to it, no gender swapping or anything.
Mhm.
And if they would have continued to do that movie, people would have turned away from that so quick because there's a lot of Dracula fans out there, a lot of horror fans out there.
Mhm. Hey, Mark. If
Yeah.
people are curious about the toys of the time gone by, where can they find you? Where should they check you out?
You can find me on YouTube for with the Toys of a Time Gone By, and check out, comment, like, and share. And come and check it out. Toys of a Time Gone By.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brandon. What should people do if they like what we're doing or are curious about what we're going to do next?
Well, I would say, just like Mark said, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow us on Spotify, iTunes, and also follow us on Rumble.
All right. We'll see you all next time.
All
Later,
right.
guys.